What do you say to them who are going off into places where they're facing enemies?
Yesterday, I was talking with a friend of the officer in charge of the Kim Lai massacre in Vietnam. Right. And he was very much regretting that the least harmful solution wasn't found there. Whenever we find vets that are really suffering from their military experience, it's when they did something that, looking back on it, is not the least harmful solution. So it's a moral injury that occurs to them. When we hear at least the news reports about Kim Jong-un from North Korea and his threats, the reaction is, we don't like his use of nuclear weapons because it doesn't sound like he's looking for the least harmful solution. And so the military actually has been eliminating officers and generals who are not concerned about the least harmful solution. It doesn't mean there is a solution in which no one gets hurt, but especially if you want to talk about who do you want to have in control of nuclear weapons or major offensives, do you want the person who doesn't care about the least harmful solution and just goes for the win? Going back to some of the commentaries about General Patton in World War II, he would often disregard, apparently, the least harmful solution in order to get the fastest win possible. And there's some military debate, obviously, within that, as whether that might in the long run be the least harmful solution. But that was actually how the logic for the nuclear bombs in Japan played out. It was, in the long term, the least harmful solution. But we've continued to debate that as societies and cultures for, ever since, those bombings. But we want people, even in military, to think about what is the least harmful solution in terms of even taking over a country. And again, Ray, the retired general, was talking about how when you get fresh troops, they're very much focused after basic training on getting the win. And when they were in Afghanistan and they tried to help them actually interact with their communities so that the U.S. influence, the reason that we were in Afghanistan to begin with was supposed to make a better country for them. They had a very hard time doing it because they were so focused on getting a fast win that they couldn't really talk through with the local people what the least harmful solution was. But troops that had been experienced, had been out there for several years, were very much, by that point, had developed an additional awareness of, what are we going to do here so that what we leave behind as a result of our military action is actually beneficial for the people on the ground that we're supposed to be helping by being here. And so, again, you see, if you think about it, it gives us the creeps every time we have a military leader who doesn't care about the least harmful solution. That's where war crimes are going to happen. So enemy mode thinking, it's very helpful for us to understand how it works so that we don't let enemy mode thinking take us out, because intelligent enemy mode, you got to really stay one step ahead of their intelligence if you're going to actually come up with the least harmful solution. But we don't want people in power. We don't want police officers in power that aren't thinking about the least harmful solution. There's no place that we can think about it to go like, no, everybody we want to have, they have to be thinking about the least harmful solution, or we don't want to give them a gun.
I was talking to a police officer the other day in the city that's really close to us, a very large metropolitan city. He's a large guy. He's 6'5", very intimidating presence. And we were talking about being a police officer, and he said, it's very hard today. He said, we have body cameras. Everybody is very conscientious. You don't want to make a mistake. And he goes, you they would hire police officers. They would ask you the question if you'd been in fights, because they wanted you to know, to be able to handle yourself. Now they ask you that question, but they're hoping that you haven't, because they know how to de-escalate the situation rather than result to physical violence.